Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about T-side Mirage. So to kick things off, I'm going to yap here a little bit. Basically, I just want to talk about what I like to do if I solo queue on any map. It doesn't matter if it's Mirage, Anubis, Dust 2, whatever it is. My philosophy is I want an entry. And that's really what I try to focus on, is finding a sequence, finding a pattern or like a routine that I'm comfortable with, that I'm self-sufficient in, to ideally find a pick, set my team up for a 5v4. Call me crazy, but there's definitely a psychological part of it where if your teammates see you go get a pick, I feel like things fall into place a lot of times, and more often than not, you win the round by just getting that singular kill and living. First thing is kind of realizing what spawns you have, and we'll just talk about the ideas of the spawns and give you like little very generic things that you can do and my philosophy and how I'd approach certain spawns, situations, whatever. This is spawn 1 on Mirage. You're really close to A. This is kind of what I'm talking about, is recognizing like, hey, I got a really good spawn for A. I know that this A guy or this connector player is crossed every single round. So maybe on a single round, you can either 1, do it by yourself, depending on what rank you're at, or 2, just ask. Don't be afraid. If somebody is a prick to you, that's on them, but you should ask, like, hey, can you just flash over A for me, and call it, and you could try to challenge a guy crossing connector. And this is a pretty safe pick because you have the best spawn, 1. 2, you know with this spawn that nobody's going to be coming from jungle quite yet, and the only position they can be in to peek you is directly in front of you. And as long as you don't go too far out, you're not even going to expose yourself to the player that's in A site. Or you might get really lucky and you're actually finding the A site player while his teammate's coming through jungle. And this is going to be a sequence of events that you got to think about with every spawn, every position, everything you're going for. I'm using this as an example to hopefully help you understand of little things that you can do to give yourself a massive advantage. So yeah, when you have the good spawn, ask for your teammate to throw a flash, or if you don't have a teammate, this still is a very good duel to go for. This isn't like a troll or a grief. Now, if they're intelligent and watch my incredible Mirage video, they might have a molly. And if they got a molly, that's where you get a little bit more advanced. You get used to throwing a smoke on top of their Molotov when you come out the ramp, and your teammate throws a flash for you. And same concept. You're still isolating that duel on a timing, and with your teammate's flash, you would be really setting yourself up for a lot of success to get a pick. Now, every spawn that you get on Mirage is not going to be necessarily something similar to that A ramp spawn. You don't always need to just like run it down at people. I'm going to go through a couple basic pieces of utility for the T side, just to show you ways that you can maneuver, get some space, and hopefully set yourself up for a pick. So starting with the most important, a lot of people will tell you it's the window smoke. It really is not. The most important smoke, especially when you're like solo queued, is the top mid smoke. And to do the top mid smoke, you just come to the side of this barrel right here, or trash can rather, and you just aim at the top of this antenna. No jump throw, nothing fancy. You just left click and let it go. What this smoke does is allows you to come out mid pretty safely from window. It also protects you from anybody that makes the cat jump. Also, a little fun fact that a lot of people don't realize is if you're playing some people that actually know how to shoot back, if they molly behind the box, you can use the edge of the smoke to look for fights in front of the window. So you're probably wondering why I'm telling you about a top mid smoke when I just told you got to go get entries, because this is going to leave you in spawn. Reason you need this is 1, it's going to protect your stupid teammate that's trying to run out top mid and die instantly. And 2, utility is important. You got to be able to throw a little bit and do some basic things to be able to get into key positions. Throwing this top mid smoke is going to allow you to get out mid. If somebody else does the smoke, great. Use it, go behind the box, and you can also smoke behind window. So in a perfect world where you have teammates that know how to smoke top mid, or maybe you're smoking top mid, or maybe you're smoking window, if you can get 2 of these smokes, this is great. In general, coming out mid, aiming at the top of this line is a great way to molly connector. That way you can isolate your duels. Come out top mid with the smoke. And a great way to path early is, especially with this window smoke up, is on this headshot angle right here. Anybody that decided to go ladder with an op and thought they were really funny, you're going to have a really nice angle and headshot angle to fight any opper that goes in the ladder. And in general, if somebody decides to get a little crazy and swing off cat on you, it's a good position to be in. You just got to worry about getting flashed. The places that you're most likely to get picks on Mirage are going to be in mid. If you're playing solo and if you're able to kind of coordinate or wrangle up, you know, your cats, get them in mid, create a little bit of space, get in this bottom mid area and start looking for picks window or cat. If you can, ideally, if you can take connector in most of your games, especially while you're still learning the game, connector is going to be so important. Because 1, a lot of people like to hang out in connector entirely way too long. And 2, once you get connector and you kill that guy or you take the space for it, the amount of options you have on this map, even if you don't find a kill, is incredible. You have the ability to go up con and split A. You have the option to maybe potentially challenge the guy on catwalk. If you force them out of connector, they don't really have good support, and you might even have a longer rotation to B or towards A. It's a really good position to get control of. If you had to focus on getting one area of the map, it would always be connector over ladder. But ladder is still really nice too. The area is really powerful to hold the jungle area, which is what CTs rely on to fight that connector player. And 2, you can really be a rat in here and just find some great timings to take some fights into B. Now, let's go talk about B here real quick. Similar to the A spawn that I was talking about earlier, where you could really just take that spawn, maybe go out ramp and look for that isolated pick on the player crossing connector. You can also go B. And when going B, one of the strongest things you can do, especially if you're by yourself, is just listen. Just listen, hang out, mind your own business. Try your best to avoid anybody throwing a molly here. Maybe they toss it deep early. You don't want to get touched by that. Maybe they throw a nade. You don't want to just be really sneaky. You don't want to be singeing the molly. You don't want really anybody to know you're up here. You're just hanging out to be a rat. Listen, 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 listen. You hear that guy run up catwalk? Guess what? You got a 1v1 now. Now, it's a little bit of a hide and seek game, but once you get comfortable on how you like to work the area, I'm telling you right now, a player that goes upper B and knows how to work this area is a menace. Even at the highest level, you'll see players do this all the time, where if they just create pressure up here, it pulls that cat player back. Maybe your teammate will finally do something and get a pick in mid because you're drawing the cat player back. Initially, start the round, be quiet. You are a rat. Listen to the player when he runs up catwalk, like so. When you hear that player coming off cat, that's basically, you know, it's on. You know, you get to do whatever you want. You have a 1v1 versus this guy. More than likely, he's not crutching it up. If he is, that's where you just call him a noob because he brought it up, and then you move on with your day. You know, maybe you want to be less sneaky about it and you want to molly out van and look for this player running out of van. You'll find you'll get players like this all the time where they just kind of panic. They just instantly fall back to bench like this and they just cross right into you. You'd be very surprised at how many players just give up a kill like that because everybody just thinks you're supposed to jump spot B, and they do. The guy's never played there before. You threw one singular molly at him. He's like, oh my God, it's B. I finally saw someone. He panics and he runs out and kills him. Maybe you like the more stealth approach. Maybe you like to get a little bit closer and he makes a misstep where he's just jump spotting and you want to try to time his jump spot. Maybe you know he's jump spotting. You want to bounce the nade off this to slow him down, break his hearing so he can't hear you, run him down, and you just get to kill him, take the bomb site, and now you get a 1v1 versus teammate cat. Or you could be even more annoying and just hide, and then that way they have to know you're in B the entire round. You're just doing a lot to create a lot of chaos. These little things are like what you should be doing in all your positions. This video is less about like, you know, do this one simple trick and you're gonna be so sick. It's more about the mindset of what you should be looking for. You know, the perfect world, this is what's going on, but in most of your games, this isn't what's going on. So you got to figure out how to make the most out of your situations. Maybe you're a more patient player, and by more patient, I mean you're just a baiter, and that's okay. Because if you're a baiter and you still find ways to get picks based off of what your teammates need and what you can provide, you know, that's great too. Players that come into A Palace and you wait for your teammates to go out mid, maybe create an absolute round of chaos in middle and it's just a brawl. You can try to find your timing for this guy on the A site and he thinks he's the hide and seek champion, but really you're the number one and you just kill him, and you're gonna be surprised at how much more success you have in these games when you're thinking this way, when you're attacking rounds in this way, and you're just kind of always looking for that slight edge and moment where you can capitalize and create a 5v4 for your team. So to wrap this up though, I will show you guys, like, if you do got a 5 stack or just in general something that like you want to like understand a philosophy of at least how I would approach most Mirage pugs and what I would come to expect. You want to have 3 players going towards mid, 1 player towards like upper B, maybe handling underpass. That can fluctuate a little bit based on the game, and then 1 person always being a menace towards A. That's how I would break it down and what I would think. Just some standard things you can do is just always smoking top mid, always smoking window. If you watch that Austin CS guy, my teammate, he's going to have a bunch of instant lineups, molly connector, getting mid control early with like 3 players, and then allowing these 2 other players on the edges of the map to isolate, look for duels, and find opportunity to get picks. Once you get out top mid, what do you do next if you're in a 5 stack? Get that connector control, baby. Smoke top con, maybe re-smoke window. That's a thing that everybody sucks at. Just re-smoke the window so you have more time to move around in mid without getting shot from 3 different places. Maybe you want to split cat that round. Maybe you want to split con. Maybe you got some picks early in mid and you're just regrouped at A. You know, you did something really simple. or maybe you regrouped at B because you killed the cat player and you know everybody's stuck. These are very basic things that you can pretty much apply to most of your games. And if you're not playing with a group of friends and you got some people that are just, you found a good stack of players and they're sweating, I would hope that they're having a similar mindset and this is how they're kind of attacking and planning the rounds as well. So this is the first T-side video we've done kind of this little series that we don't really have a name for, that we just kind of keep rolling with. Please don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Appreciate all of you guys watching these videos. That's the most important thing. And let us know in the comments below what you guys want to see next.